Hello Stampers, Michelle Zindorf here. I hope you get to stamp along with this project today. It was a lot of fun to put together. So hopefully you're ready to make a scene. We're going to start with our little character here. He's so cute and he comes out of the Musical Jamboree stamp set. We have all of these great little characters here with their instruments. We're going to be focusing on this guy here. I colored him like a coyote. That's what I think of when I think of like a desert scene. So we have him kind of, I'm thinking like Arizona or something like that. But anyway, that's our scene we're going to be making. And let's go ahead and stamp our images out first and we'll get them colored and cut out. So I'm going to start with Memento Tuxedo black ink. I'm going to stamp our little coyote here. He's so cute that he's just singing away here. Stamp him. And we're going to need him again here in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and stamp our fire also. All right, so I have those two images stamped out, and now we're going to do some coloring. It's easy to color, and I love images like this because sometimes, you know, you just feel like coloring. So I'm just going to color his little scarf in, and I have a dark pumpkin pie here. So there's his little scarf. Let's do the knot. And it's okay to color outside of this image because we're going to be cutting him out. I'm going to take some, this is the light smoky slate, and that's what I'm going to do, like his face and his inside of his ears. And right before this ear here, I'm going to just kind of make a line here down towards his chest here. If you see, his chest is kind of going to be a different color. And I wanted his face to be that color, that light color. I'm just going to color this in. Then I'm going to color his chest in. And then this bit of his belly here. So that was done with, oh, I almost forgot the inside of his ear. So that was all done with the light smoky slate Stampin' Blend marker. Now I'm going to take the dark smoky slate. I'm going to color his other ear and around that part there because he's kind of two-toned this way. I think it's much more interesting when you do that. I think he'd probably be cute any way you color him though. So this is, if you're going to make a bunch of these, boy, just stamp them out, sit in front of your favorite TV show, and color away. All right, let's get his little tail. Love these Stampin' Blends because you don't have to worry about streaks or nothing in your coloring, which is awesome. Okay, got this leg, and then we just have this one little leg here. I want to call it an arm because he is doing his little banjo, but it's a leg. Okay, so we have that done. Now I'm going to go back to this light smoky slate here, and I'm going to go ahead and color in the handle. I'm sure it's called something besides that of on a banjo. Okay, that was the light smoky slate. And then for this actual bottom part, I'm going to use the bronze Stampin' Blend. And let's see, I'll go ahead and use the fine point here. See how quickly he comes together. So cute. All right, so that's him all colored in. Now I'm going to take some, this is the Dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color in the top part of the flames here. Not worrying about those little dots around it. And then I'm going to use that same dark pumpkin pie, and I'm going to color in the bottom flame. And then I'm going to add some of this to the points on the upper flame. All right, and then for your sticks for the fire or logs, or I'm just going to use the dark smoky slate. I think this is dark. Nope, this is the light smoky slate. There we go. Now we have our images all colored. Now I'm just going to use my paper snips and I'm going to cut them out. Okay, by the magic of video, I have my two little things cut out here, my little fire and my little coyote. We're going to set those aside, and then we're going to start on our background here. And I have a basic white panel. This is 3 3/4 by 5. And you can find all the dimensions for this card, by the way, down below this video. Just click more under the description and you'll see them all there, along with the links to the products. That'll take you directly to my online store where you can shop with me 24/7. Now, to start our background here, I'm going to use pumpkin pie ink and a blending brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and forth on my cardstock here, just like this. And I'm going to do that center of my panel here with this color. So we have like a big stripe going through the center there. And again, that was pumpkin pie. And next I'm going to go with Pretty Peacock. And a blending brush, and I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to do that back and forth motion, but I'm going to go down into that pumpkin pie a bit. So I want this top pretty dark, so when I ink my blending brush up here, I'm just going to go back and forth here at the top where I just have that Pretty Peacock color, and then I'll go down into my pumpkin pie a little bit. So there is that. Okay, so we're going to go to our next color, and I'm going to bring out a little darker color, the Night of Navy. I'm going to put this right at the top of our Pretty Peacock. I like to get really, really dark up here, just right at the top of the cardstock. Just like that. See, it makes just a big difference, just putting that little bit of dark up there. So that was Night of Navy. Then we need like a ground color. And I'm going to bring in Pecan Pie for this. So I want to, to kind of stay with some Southwest colors. So I'm going to grab my blending brush for that. We're going to do that same thing, this back and forth motion here. And I'm going to go up into that pumpkin pie just a little bit. Kind of blend it in with that. Because you really don't want like racing stripes. You want some blended colors. So now we have our background colors in. Now I want some like low hills, like what you would see like in Colorado or out west. So I'm going to take a Post-it note here. Now my Post-it notes are 3 by 5, but you could get away with a 3 by 3. But I'm just going to make a straight tear here at the top of my hill. Like out west, some of the hills are like flat on top. And then they dip down and they're kind of just jagged in the front. So that's what I did. I just came straight out and then did like a jagged tear. Now, you don't never tear two pieces of paper exactly alike. I've tried. So I'm just going to make one of these hills here on the right-hand side of my panel here. And I'm going to fill them in with early espresso. So I'm going to grab a blending brush here. And I just kind of hold the paper down while I'm doing this. I'm going to fill this in. Now, you don't want to come all the way to the bottom here. So you're going to end up with a little check mark here where the paper squares off. So keep that in mind as you're doing this, that you don't want to go all the way to the bottom. Now, this first hill here that we're doing on the right, I want it darker because I want it more in the foreground. So if you look at hills and mountains, you'll see that the further they're away, the lighter they are in color. So this one I want to be more up front, so I'm making it darker. So there is my first hill. Now instead of just ripping another piece of paper, which I could easily do, I'm just flipping this over so I have this kind of same shape here, but I'm going to bring it in some. And I think I'm going to turn it this way. It might be a little easier to hold because there's no sticky on the side that I have facing down now. But I'm going to do this still with early espresso. I'm going to do it lighter. I'm just holding my paper down and putting this in a little lighter here. And you can always peek underneath. It's like, do I like that? I think I just want it just a tad bit darker. And again, we don't want to go all the way to the bottom there, so you'll get that weird mark. But see how this one looks like it's more in the foreground and this one's in the background. And that's exactly what you want. Now, you just did that just by the darkness of your color, dark and light. So that's just a little tip there. So now we have our background all put in here. And there's one thing that I do want to do. I'm going to make a big, like an orange circle here where our fire is going to go. And I'm doing this with Daffodil Delight, and I want some of that yellow just in the background so it kind of glows, that fire will glow. So right here at the bottom kind of edge of that last little hill we put in, I'm just going to make a dot here with this color, this Daffodil Delight, just to bring that glowy look to it. Do you see how that kind of glows there where you put that yellow? Okay, so there is that. Now I just want to stamp my sentiment so I know exactly where that's going to go. And that's going to go down in the corner. I want to make sure I have plenty of room for this. And this says just a note. And that is in that Musical Jamboree stamp set too. And I'm just going to add this here in the bottom left corner. And I use Memento Tuxedo Black for that. Now I'm going to stamp my little coyote here on my main panel. So I'm going to ink this up with Memento Tuxedo Black too. And the reason I'm doing that is just to catch those musical notes that's coming out of his mouth. And you don't have to worry about stamping it partway over that hill because we have our cutout images that's going to cover up part of that hill. So there's those little musical notes that I wanted to catch there. And I wanted some more, and there is a stamp that has musical notes on it. So again, I'm doing Memento Tuxedo Black here, and I'm just going to add these little musical notes here coming off of the other ones. So now we have more. And there is all our stamping that we're going to do. Okay, so now I have my little coyote here, and I'm going to adhere him right on top of that stamped image on our panel. Just remember, if you ever don't want to cut out something in the image, but you want it in there, you can do that whole, stamping and then layering over with your cutout image. That may be omitting something that you didn't want to cut out. So here we go. We're going to just put this on here, layer it on top where that stamped image was. Cute, cute. He's just singing, singing, singing. And now we need our fire in there. So I'm just going to add this in. Remember, we got our little glowing part here. So I'm going to add that on there. Now our fire is glowing. And I don't worry about the fire being a little higher than what his bottom is, because it could be further background. He may be sitting just, you know, kind of front right of that fire. So there is that. Now, if you find out you have a little bit of white spots around the edges of your image, you can always go back in with that, with one of those colors, kind of touch things up. I think that's probably good. And then for your fire, if you want to, you can go ahead and touch it up a little bit more with that pumpkin pie there on the edge. I think that's cute, that little pumpkin pie at the top fringe of that fire. All right, and there you have your scene. It's all done. Isn't that cute? And it comes together just lovely. I just love watching how it just builds itself. All right, so now we got, I have 2 panels of early espresso, and I cut them 4 by 5 1/4. One will go inside the card, and then one will back this main panel here. So I'm going to go ahead and add this on. I'm using multi-purpose glue for this, but you can use whatever adhesive you like. Just going to kind of center that up there. Give it a little rub. Okay, so there is that. Now I just wanted to add just a little something. So I'm getting out some linen thread. Linen thread's great when you just want to put just a little like a ribbon or something on there, but you don't want a big ribbon, you know? Sometimes that's just the way it is. So I'm going to just take a couple mini glue dots here. I'm going to put one kind of up here at the top, then one here at the bottom. And then when you take your linen thread, you can smush the end of it down into that glue dot there and wrap it around. Smush it in that glue dot. And you come up and you can smush it again in the glue dot. And I kind of like to cross over my thread there in front so it's not, doesn't look like it's like 2 separate pieces. Then I'm just going to cut that off. That saves you a little linen thread too, because you're not going all the way across the back 2 times. Then I just want a piece. I'm just going to cut a piece off here to use as my bow. And I tend to like to run my fingers down it a couple times. Just kind of straighten it out because it's pretty curly. You take it off that roll. I'm going to flip it upside down so I get my bow going the right way. And I'm going to tie it up here towards the top. And I just put that linen thread right under the one that we just adhered to the back. I'm going to make these a little smaller. You can adjust them as small as you want. Turns out kind of cute. There we go. And then we have our 2 little ends there. I'm going to kind of leave them kind of long and wavy. And there is our little ribbon on our card, or our little linen thread on our card. And then I'm just going to add it to my card front. Now I have a pecan pie card base here. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it in half to create my quarter card. Just going to pop this up on the front. I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals for this. You could certainly just glue it down if you want to, but we're just going to get a little fancy today. So I like to use lots of Stampin' Dimensionals on my panels because, especially these big panels, because you're going to put this on your card and you don't want it to like sink in the middle. So I'm just going to kind of lay it on this card front here. And I don't smush it all the way down in case, like I just did, I need to pull it up. See if I can get this a little straighter. There we go. Okay, like that. Then I have this little piece sticking out here. Boy, I'm having some issues today. There we go. So there's our little card front. Isn't he cute? All right, for the inside of the card, I'm not sure what to put inside because this is just a note card that you could send for about any occasion. So I generally just write something on the inside, but you could stamp a sentiment. This could be just a note, happy birthday, or hope you're feeling better, or something to that sort. So I'm just going to put this inside. I have that additional early Espresso panel that's 4 by 5.25, and then this is the same size as our main panel here, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to add this to the inside of our card. Always want to add a little love there. And in it will go. I splattered some glue there. There we go. And there is our card all finished. I hope you enjoy this project and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Toodles.